Hello Libra, and welcome to my channel, Tarot by Gabrielle. This is going to be a general reading for Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus placements, looking at your connection between you and the person that you are dealing with and are needing to learn the most from right now. We'll be pulling for all three sides of the connection, so we'll be looking at your energy toward it, their energy toward it, and the energy in between it. The concept being that there are three sides to every story. So we'll be looking at your version of the truth, their version of the truth, and this higher level unbiased truth in the middle. This middle section will be looking at what is the deeper purpose of the connection and the best way for you to move forward in order to align further with your higher self. Friendly reminder that these are general readings and they are not here to resonate fully for everyone, and they won't resonate fully for everyone. So do please remember to take what does resonate and helps your personal situation and to leave what does not. On that note, and especially if you're a cross watcher, just know this whole reading can be reversed. If that is the case for you, that is totally fine and totally normal. Again, the point is to take what helps and leave what doesn't. Last thing is that any information on the extended reading or on booking a personal reading or coaching session with me is in the description box below. All right, Libra, let's jump on in. We're going to start with overall energy through oracle cards first, and then we will dive deeper into the story with tarot as we progress. So let's see what we've got here. I also want to mention that I have started posting daily mini tarot readings, general readings on my Instagram and TikTok accounts that will not be posted here. So if you have any interest in seeing those, the information for that account is below. All right, you have romance. Soulmate recognition. This person makes you feel a lot of things. I feel like there's a lot of, like, it's almost like this person makes you feel very special. And I feel like you feel very connected to them in a way that maybe you've never really felt connected to somebody before with the soulmate recognition card. You know, we have a lot of different soulmates in this life. So saying that doesn't mean like this is the one person, and if it's not them, you know, you can't have the love that you desire. But I do think that there is obviously, from your perspective, a very special connection that you feel here. This person's energy toward you. Know your worth. Breakups and makeups. See, I think that this person feels a lot of the same things toward this connection as you do. However, with this Know Your Worth card, I feel like this person struggles to feel deserving of it for some reason. And because of that, with this breakups and makeups card, I feel like their energy is very inconsistent in this. And it's not that their feelings are inconsistent. I feel like their feelings are actually very consistent. But their behavior is, their action is, their energy is almost like one day they're invested and one day they're, you know, showing up and they're texting you a whole bunch or they're very present in your life. And then the next, it's almost like the absence of all of that. And I feel like, you know, this is obviously a strong connection coming from on both sides. And I think that if there's anything that I've learned, it's that, you know, strong connections push you to kind of face those deeper insecurities and feelings of unlovableness and unworthiness and, you know, fears of abandonment and, you know, things of that nature, abandonment and betrayal and all of that. And we have to be really aware of our own traumas and triggers so that we can handle them appropriately without sabotaging the relationships in our life. Truth of this connection between Libra and this person. Follow your heart. This is what you're trying to do here. Solitude. Oh, but unfinished business. So it's interesting because you actually both feel very alone. in this. And it's not... Is there separation? I don't know if there's separation or not. But with this unfinished business card, I feel like this is how you both kind of view this connection, almost as if it never really had the chance to be what it had the potential to be, or has the potential to be, which is why I'm wondering if there's some sort of separation. Because it does feel like you're trying to follow your heart when it comes to this connection. I feel like your heart feels very pulled to this person. We talked about that from the very beginning, right? So I'm wondering where this solitude energy is coming from. Because if you both have, because the feelings are definitely mutual. Like I can feel it in the energy. There's this like almost intense draw, like magnetic. It's a very magnetic connection. Overall theme of this reading here. Didn't seem intentional. It didn't flip all the way over. If it was supposed to come out, it will again. I didn't even really see what card it was. There will be a return. So there is a separation. So yeah, there is this energy of solitude, almost like isolation. Lies and partial truths. So there's almost this like caution around this return. Interesting. Interesting, interesting. Let's dive into this. Let's see what we've got here. So, goodness sakes, that was weird that was difficult, so difficult to pick up. I didn't really feel drawn to any of those cards, but let's see. This is for Libra's side of the connection to the person they're dealing with and are needing to learn the most from right now. This is for Libra's side of this connection, the person they're dealing with. Death and in reverse. Why is the Empress in reverse too? I mean, the Empress is Libra energy here. Page of Cups. Queen of Cups. Two of Swords. Okay, I want to pull one more. Five of Wands. Interesting. Interesting. Okay. You could be dealing with a water sign, Pisces, Cancer, or Scorpio. However, you don't have to be, because the way that I actually see this Queen of Cups is your energy in this. I feel like there's this energy of compassion and understanding and empathy toward this person. And I feel like because this Page of Cups is this energy of your heart almost being like so open for them. And it makes sense with the really strong feelings that you have. But with this Five of Wands, it feels like it's kind of been like a fight to make this connection work, or to get this person to commit, or to not, pull away. And I mean, we saw with their energy, right? They're dealing with certain insecurity around love that causes them to be very wishy-washy. Like all of these things feel very true. As Two of Swords, indicates that you actually have a decision to make when it comes to this connection. Now, right now, in the energy that I feel like you're in when I'm actually reading this, it feels like you feel like the ball is in their court, which is why I feel like you do have there will be a return. However, maybe you have like this intuitive feeling that they're going to come back or their energy is going to reappear. Or like it's such a pattern for them, like to remove themselves and come back. So it kind of feels like it feels like the ball is kind of in your court, whether or not to accept this connection back. Now, I said that there was a little bit of a warning here, and with this death in reverse, this can be this energy of repeating the same cycles over and over, like a lack of changing an approach to certain cycles, almost like it's like resistance to change, basically. And when we resist change, we repeat cycles. And I feel like you've been stuck in like a merry-go-round cycle with this person for a while. And I think that it's really challenging because of all of the really intense things that this person does make you feel, that this connection makes you feel. However, with this Empress in reverse, this is definitely this energy of not fully putting yourself first. And it's not that you're not trying to. I feel like with this person, the feelings are so strong and the hope for the connection is so strong that it makes it really hard for you to stand in your power when it comes to it. Because I think that, there's so much desire for this person and for this connection that it's almost like, if it were anybody else, I feel like it'd be easy for you to set boundaries, or easy for you to maintain distance, or easy for you to, stand up for what you deserve and how you deserve to be treated. But for some reason, and I'm sure, you have your reasons, but with this connection, it's almost like it's harder for you to do that. Because with the Page of Cups, it's almost like your heart is on your sleeve for this person. And again, with this Queen of Cups, I feel like you're in this energy of, being so compassionate and so empathetic, but it's almost like your cup is drained. That's the thing that I feel like I'm gathering from this. Now, I feel like you feel like your cup gets filled whenever they are very present and are very connected, but then it feels like whenever there's that, detachment or that removal of their energy from your life, it's almost like your cup starts to run really dry. So I don't know necessarily what's happening here. I can understand your energy. I mean, just from the first card that I pulled, like I can feel how magnetic this connection is for you and how absolutely like just drawn and almost like invigorating. Like I feel like this really feels for you. So I think that that's might kind of play into why this cycle has repeated, is because it's like hard for you to, like I said, stand your ground, set boundaries, because I feel like all you desire is this connection. It's like, I just want this person in my life. I just want to, experience this connection with them. The desire is definitely very strong. So let's see what's going on with them. Because it's like the Two of Swords is this indication that the ball is in your court. This person's energy toward you. Know your worth with breakups and makeups. So the first card I usually pull is overall energy. It's like, this is like the main message, right? You have the Death in reverse. They have the Chariot in reverse. And I'll dive into that in a little bit, but let's break this down a little further. The Hierophant. The Five of Swords. So this could, whoa, Nine of Swords. I knew we were going to see the Nine of Swords. Nine of Swords is all about, insecurity, anxiety, stress. But really, I feel like what's coming through is the insecurity. Knight of Wands in reverse. Oh, Three of Pentacles with the Ten of Swords, because that's the underlying. The underlying is the Ten of Swords, and then there's the Devil right behind it. I'm going to start with a little bit of an analogy, because this is the biggest analogy that's coming through right now, so I want to run with it. Say you're on a fitness journey, and I know this might seem like I'm taking a weird turn, but trust me, it'll come back to the reading. Say you're on a fitness journey. Anybody, somebody is on a fitness journey. And this person, they have this goal to, lose weight, get in shape, get strong, whatever. And they show up, in the gym. I'm so excited to, to get strong, to experience, the health that I've always wanted. And they show up and they do it, right? They do it for a couple of weeks, maybe even, a month or two. But then things start to get hard. Then, it's not as exciting. The habits aren't building as quickly, and they decide to give up on their journey. They're like, I can't do this. It's too difficult. I give up. And then, they don't see the progress that they want, and it repeats over and over again. A few months go by, they get back in the gym, day one, so excited. A couple weeks go by. Okay. Now let me bring this to the read. I'm going to come back to this example in a second. This person with overall energy, Chariot in reverse. Chariot in reverse is a lack of progress. It's stagnancy. It's essentially hamster wheel energy, staying in the same place. And I feel like for this person, they have a lot of desire toward this connection, absolutely. But it also feels that the way that they approach this connection is very much like that analogy I just gave. They want it, they desire it. When they, when they're in it, when they start it, it's exciting, it's invigorating, just like, all of the energy that you feel. A couple weeks go by, maybe even a few months, and then things get hard, right? Things get real, because all relationships bring out your insecurities. They trigger your wounding. They trigger your trauma. They make you face yourself. They make you face the deeper parts of yourself, and they force you to learn to love yourself. The real work kicks in, and same with a fitness journey. The real work isn't the first couple of weeks or the first even month or so of working out or sticking to habits. It's doing it when things are hard. It's whenever the motivation wears off, the discipline kicks in, right? So instead of being really excited about something, you're doing it because you love yourself, because you want to show up for the future version of you. The same exact thing happens in relationships. Eventually, that excitement wears off, and you're stuck with facing the relationship, facing the hard stuff. Hard stuff exists in every relationship. And whenever that happens, whenever things get real, whenever these things start to happen, this person enters this Five of Swords energy, this defensiveness, this self-protection energy, this pushing you away energy. And with the Hierophant, it feels like this is kind of almost what's very traditional for them. I feel like this is very much how they have always acted and always responded, and maybe you could see this happen in other areas of their life too. It feels like when things get difficult, they have a tendency to bolt, to self-sabotage, if you will, with the Knight of Wands in reverse. And this is because of deeper rooted insecurity, right? When somebody doesn't feel worthy and deserving of love, which all of us typically have a wounding that makes us feel we're unworthy and undeserving of love, because most of us were raised by unhealed people. Doesn't mean our parents didn't do the best that they could, but most people were raised by people who weren't healed and capable of showing up for love in a healthy way. And when we carry those wounds, we are going to live by the expectation of that wounding. If we were abandoned or betrayed or weren't loved for who we really are, love was conditional or transactional or whatever the case is, we develop certain beliefs about ourselves that say, I am not good enough for love. If somebody gets too close to me, they're going to see who I really am and they're going to bolt, because deep down, I believe I'm unworthy. So the way that this person behaves in this connection is very much coming from a place of this Ten of Swords. I said the underlying was the Ten of Swords here. This wounded energy of, I expect to be hurt, so I distance myself before I can get hurt. And it's hard because for you, I feel like you're showing up with this Queen of Cups energy, right? That we talked about, where you're so open and you're empathetic and you're loving and you're caring. And it doesn't mean that you're perfect, okay? Nobody is perfect. So you absolutely probably have made mistakes. That's okay. But it feels like no matter what you do, no matter how you show up, no matter how hard you try, this person eventually bolts. They run. They distance themselves. They self-sabotage. And that leaves you going, here we go again. This person is doing this same thing over and over again because maybe you know that they believe that they're unworthy and undeserving. Now, where I feel is really important, what I feel is Spirit is really trying to bring through with this reading, is that in order for this person to not behave in the way that they have, right, and this self-sabotaging kind of energy, they're going to have to do some very deep and honest reflection on themselves and have this willingness to heal the parts of themselves that cause them to respond in this way. And the same type of thing happens in a fitness journey. If you speak to anybody who has had a successful fitness journey, they will tell you that not only did they experience growth physically, but they also experienced emotional growth and, sometimes even spiritual shifts, because that journey teaches you to show up consistently for yourself no matter what. Relationships teach you the same thing. They push you not to show up for other people, because it's not always about being the best for another person. It's also about showing up for you. If you have a desire to make something work, if this person has a desire to experience the love that this connection has, which they do, they want that, then if they were to show up, or if they're not showing up for the connection, it's not that they're not showing up for you, it's that they're not showing up for themselves. They're not loving themselves in the way that they need to be able to experience being loved by you in a consistent way. Now, that is why I feel like there's almost this warning about this person's return, is the last thing that you want to do is continue to put yourself in this position of getting hurt by this person's pattern of behavior, right? Because if nothing ever changes, then nothing ever changes. And with the overall energy of it being the Chariot in reverse, I feel like it's really, really important for you to pay attention to whether or not this person has done the work. And I'm not just talking about, oh yeah, I messed up and won't happen again. I'm talking about comes to you and says, you know what, I realize that I self-sabotage because I am not worthy and deserving. I believe I'm not worthy and deserving of love. And as soon as those insecurities start to come up, I start to bolt. So I'm going to work on, as soon as those insecurities start to come up, I'm going to work on sitting with them in discomfort and communicating with them and working through it with you because I want this connection to work. That is the voice of somebody who is showing up not just for you, but for them, and who has the capacity to love you well. If you want this connection to work, or that's not the good way to word that. If this connection were to work, it's because this person does the healing. Now, what is in your control? Literally none of that. You have no control over whether or not this person heals, but you do have control over whether or not you perpetuate this cycle. If you continue to let somebody who continues to repeat the same patterns of behavior in, you're going to keep experiencing the same heartbreak, the same betrayal, and it probably will get worse every single time. So I feel like there's a need for you to take a step back and to ask yourself, do I want who this person has showed me they are, or am I trying to turn them into the potential that I see? And it's important to remember that the potential you see in another person is merely the reflection of what you would do in their shoes. It's not a reflection of them at all. It is somebody who doesn't exist. It's a reflection of you and what you would do in their shoes. And when you have a lot of empathy and a lot of understanding for other people, you think other people are going to act that way. But when other people are wounded in certain ways, the running that they do, they're not thinking about what's best for you. They're not thinking about what even is best for them. They are in pure survival mode. It is, what do I need to do to feel safe in this moment? Because when those insecurities come up, when their traumas and their wounds are triggered, they're not thinking about how can I make this connection work. They're thinking, how can I not feel this way anymore? And that's the difference between survival mode and alignment. Is in alignment, we don't allow those triggers and those traumas to impact our decisions. We sit with it, we process it, we feel it, we understand it, and then we respond the way that we want to respond. It's natural to be triggered, right? And to feel insecure in relationships. But that doesn't mean you take it out on the other person, right? That doesn't mean you make it the other person's problem because you're inconsistency. So I feel like have empathy, okay? For this person, absolutely, it's so much easier to not take things personally whenever you understand that the way that somebody responds is a reflection of how they value them and what they believe that they're deserving of, more so than it has anything to do with you and what they believe about you. People don't treat you how they value you, they treat you how they value themselves. And in addition, have empathy for yourself and your experience, because you deserve somebody who isn't just infatuated with you, who doesn't just love you, but who knows and is willing and capable to love you well, not because they finally realize that you're worthy and deserving, but because they finally realize that they are, right? But that is their individual journey. You have no control over that. So it's kind of like, doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result, right? It's a very common theme. The last thing you want to do is get yourself into the cycle where you just accept this person as they are, repeat the cycle, hurt your own heart, do it all over again, right? So I feel like there's a need to, just be careful. Just be careful. And make sure that you're making a decision that aligns with what you deserve. Because I definitely feel that there's a lot more to this cycle than you might realize. But in between this, you have solitude with follow your heart. I'm going to hop on over to the extended and we're going to dive deeper into this reading, looking at the deeper purpose of the connection and the best way for you to move forward in alignment with your higher self. Before I end this video, I do want to reiterate that I am hosting a workshop on September 19th, which is all about manifesting financial freedom. I used to be a financial advisor. Now I'm a spiritual coach. So this workshop is going to be a little bit of a combination of both of those roles. It is a live workshop happening at 6 p.m. Central Time. However, if you cannot attend live and you still wish to be a part of the workshop, I encourage you to still purchase a ticket, because if you purchase a ticket, you will both receive access to the live recording, or access to the live event and a recording and all the materials that will be sent out the next day. This workshop also comes with a 30-day financial challenge, so I'm really excited about that aspect of it too. And obviously, I hope to see you guys there. I poured a lot of heart and soul into this one, so I'm excited about it. Any information for that is at the top of the description box below. And then again, if you wish to watch those daily general readings, my TikTok and my Instagram accounts are below. All right. Thank you so much, Libra, as always, for your support of my channel. I do obviously hope that this reading helped and resonated with you in a way that you were needing today. And as always, I wish you nothing but love and healing, all of the wonderful things that you deserve and desire on your journey moving forward. Bye, Libra.